occasions. One of them was a world final. The other one was my wedding. This is how you know that I guarantee this is going to be an incredible series. Those were the other two best days of my life.
We thank you for your work, Atlas. It's greatly appreciated. As going into this game number 3 draft, no surprises, although that Yone ban coming out on the side of T1 here. Aurora still going to get taken out. The Ashe still up, Skarner still up as well. Jax available. Skarner, Jax would be the kind of no-brainer 1-2 here for Gen.G.
The BLG approach, as we like to call it. Certainly a favorite for them in their semi-final that went pretty well, you could say, for BLG. We'll see whether that is exactly where Gen.G are going to go. Not deciding to switch up the picks here, as it will be the Jax to be locked in first. And I think that, you know, you don't talk about hovers is something that we sometimes talk about. This is a hover that you can probably talk about.
Yeah, I think you can be pretty confident with that one, Atlas.
Yeah.
Especially with Keen. Now the question is, will it be a third game? Skarner, I'm going to hazard a guess and say yes. Canyon, of course, has showcased a wealth of different champions. His Maokai win rate this year is almost as good as his Nidalee win rate. I mean, the man is very versatile in terms of the jungle role, and they're actually, based on the hovers, holding off on that lock-in. Chovy's win rate with Ahri so far in the best of 5s hasn't been the strongest, but last game, he had the Veda over Faker. He was able to have a lot of mid control thanks to the Ahri pick and what was happening around the map. And we'll see what the response is here from T1.
Also ties into Chovy's approach. Often as a player, if he thinks a champion is the best, we'll just keep picking that until the antithesis is proven. Renata coming through. Again, Keria having an incredible game, and we were calling for this, and I love it here as well. Always going to feel strong. The only thing for Gen.G, you do have the opportunity to pick up like Ezreal here. Doesn't mean your jungle pool is going to get pinched, but getting a non-stationary AD carry, I think, is going to be a really big deal, because otherwise the team fights are going to be really hard to play out.
Depends what he has planned. Could be something else here as well, as that Ahri Nocturne combo that they swept through Swiss with is going to be locked away. Canyon, he is sick of playing this Skarner, and I could understand. No shade cap, but I don't know. It just doesn't do very much damage. You only build health. It's just less fun. The Nocturne, who does slashy.
You are setting up very clearly for a Kai'Sa pick here for Gen.G. You imagine that's going to be banned away by T1. The backline threat onto the Ashe is very lethal. The Kindred, I think, is... it's a really good matchup into the Nocturne.
Yeah.
You just went out on the skirmishes, so they're going to remove that. Wouldn't be surprised to see the Vi removed, to be honest, with the amount of mobility on the side of Gen.G. Just take that away from Ona, one of his best champions.
Yeah, protecting a lot of bans as well, because T1 basically have to ban Kai'Sa Ezreal. And so it's going to be relatively telegraphed what they're going to be taking into this game. Of course, T1 not too worried about it because Ashe Renata is just universally strong.
Yeah, I was about to say, Ezreal is another, but I think the Ziggs makes a ton of sense given what we've seen so far. And
then you get Ezreal. So I guess that's the 3 picks that they were happy to grab. And if you've got 3, then you're not too worried.
Noteworthy as well that the Sylas did still get banned, even though Chovy did a really good job in that matchup, still going to deny it. And I think it's because of the Nocturne, right? So much of the value is because you're the one, is the Twitch Nocturne actually going to be denied here. And I think it makes sense given how insanely annoying that looked to play against.
They thought that Lehens was going to go back to his Shen. That's what was going to happen.
But
as there's the Ezreal. That makes a lot of sense. I mean, he could still theoretically play Shen, but it's not going to be a thing.
I like this Gen.G draft. I really do. I think it's very solid. It makes a lot of sense in the context of how Gen.G likes to play. These 2 last picks are going to be crucial. The mid-jungle from T1. FAKER has had a phenomenal world so far. Pairing up alongside Ona, they've been doing a good job together. The question is, what plan have they got for Canyon Chovy?
Let's just see. Wanting probably a little bit of physical damage from that mid lane. We'll see where T1 are going to go. Never mind. Okay, Yasuo could be an option. The AKALI really far, and he's going to lock it in. I think if you were watching Worlds last year, you understand this is one of the ones that FAKER's pretty good at. Hasn't been playing it very much this year, however. Still, this guy has played competitively like 80 different champions, so he's fine. And that's going to be the Vi locked away for Ona. Although they do have a bit of time to think about it, I still think that they don't need to worry. And so it's relying on Vi and Ashe as far as that physical damage is concerned, but I think that the damage profile kind of okay. It's just range that might catch them out, but the way to start fights is what we were looking for after game 2.
It's such a peak T1 comp as well. So much upfront burst, allowing you to play towards that bailout, which is something they love to do. Owner on a champion with a lot of engage and playmaking potential. And what is LaHen's going to pick here? This time the Blitzcrank is open, but it looks like instead they're going to go for something a lot more well-rounded, and they did have a really good game on it in game number 2.
Yep, the pretty standard option in the rel. But like you say, I actually think playing for LaHen's comfort is a really good idea after what we saw in game 1 and the rest of this tournament, because LaHen's has kind of been the weak link here for Gen.G. Not in game 2 though. Trying to carry that one forward does make a lot of sense.
Now, when we think of Faker, there are a slew of champions that you can attribute to his name, right? Of course, AKALI is definitely up there in terms of a champion that he's had a lot of presence on, but Knight yesterday beautifully demonstrated what this champion can do to an Ezreal. And that is what T1 is envisioning in this game. That level of execution damage is incredibly high. And when you've got a Vi there to dive alongside you with the potential of the Ashe Arrow pick, no cleanse is going to save you from a Vi and an AKALI duo, but it's about being in a position to really execute on that, because Gen.G have a lot of skirmishing threats themselves. The Jax was a huge problem in the previous game, and I can tell you right now, Ashe isn't going to have an easier time in this game compared to the Caitlyn on the last one. Renata's going to be crucial in the usage of the ultimate, and I think that, again, Gen.G have a pretty straightforward and easy comp to execute.
I would agree. I think that there is a lot of pressure on T1, but I want to go back to what you were saying, Chronicler. This is a T1 draft. We were watching the World Final last year. The only difference about this one in comparison to that is that was a mental snowball that they were rolling on, right? This was a T1 that was sweeping a series. This time, they have to utilize it to come back from a deficit here after losing game number 2. But here we are onto the Rift. See whether they can make it work.
Gonna be looking at the lane assignments. Also do know Chovy going for a grasp again. Would expect him to try and keep Faker down, particularly those first 6 levels is where the AKALI can really struggle.
Certainly is. But remember, ladies and gentlemen, you need to log into your Riot account on lolesports.com and earn watch Worlds Live to earn exclusive emotes, icons, capsules, all that cool stuff. We've got a little bit of time here. You're not going to miss too much. So you can hop on over and you can get that one done. Just to get some free stuff. It's really cool. Okay, Zeus is standing on a ward, and there are a lot of bad guys in the brush. Oh, no, there's the charm that crashed down as well. It's a dead Gragas. It's going to take a little bit of time because he's relatively tanky, but still, that's first blood.
Oh, la historia. Again and again and again.
That ward so crucial. Spotting Zeus out. I don't think Chovy's flash was necessary, but he committed it anyway to guarantee that pick. And Gen.G start off game 3 with first blood.
And Chovy's flash doesn't even matter all that much because it's AKALI that he's laning against. Not a lot of kill threat in the first 5 levels. So he should be absolutely fine navigating this one. He's also, Chovy does kind of like the laning phase in general, as we're going to see standard lanes here for likely the first time.
Do have Paze now walking up. Tear from the start.
Oh, God.
Something you're going to be very happy about just in what it means for your spikes, because obviously it doesn't really give you any combat stats early. And in this lane, LaHen's and Paze are just playing to clear the waves, don't be diveable, and get to your items. 2 items for Ezreal is always the main breakpoint. From that point on, he only gets stronger. And we do see both junglers starting on opposite sides of the map, although Canyon, I think, started his Raptors, then path down, whereas Owner just doing a full topside clear and maybe looking to impact this bot side. And these trades are actually really valuable because it could set up for a possible dive towards the bot side of the map.
I will say, it's nice to see move away from the lane swap, only because while T1, I think, in the Swiss stage really had phenomenal execution on the lane swap, this, to me, is the bread and butter of Gumayusi and Keria. Their 2v2 laning prowess has been so incredible. And while I think there's Summer, of course, question marks always when it comes to T1 and Summer, at this World Championship, watching this bot lane 2 versus 2 has been a joy to watch. And you're seeing it right now. They know the strength and the advantage they have. They don't care about the tier. They know that with this Ashe Renata, they can bully this duo as much as they like.
Yeah, and I think that this is the biggest benefit of not having a lane swap this time around, and it's curious that Gen.G didn't decide to opt into it themselves. Maybe just saying that now that we've got a kill on our Ezreal, we're going to be okay, but a tier doesn't really give you a whole lot of stats. Still, the fact that the wave is going to be pushing out, and FaZe can pick up a bunch of farm underneath the turret. That's going to be okay. As FAKER only hit by the non-true damage part of the Orb of Deception after a couple of abilities go his way. Not going to be feeling too bad here as he's playing with his health bar into Chovy in this lane. Now,
the Ahri Akali matchup is pretty interesting because once you get to level 5, you can actually start winning out very easily on a lot of trades for the Akali, just because the bonus movement speed from the W makes it very easy to sidestep the E from coming out from the Ahri. The problem is, when you go for the Electrocute over the Fleet Footwork, it's very easy for Chovy to kind of chip away at your HP bar when you're trying to farm, and it means the Faker's in this awkward spot where he now needs the wave to bounce back into him, which is happening, fortunately, but it's this weird, awkward middle ground where he's now relying on his Doran shield to kind of mitigate and heal back up in this midterm mid laning.
It's also, again, the grasp, and I do think that we have seen in the past players really get caught off guard by just the extra amount of health that can give you. Akali in particular plays around kill windows so well, but if your first couple of plays don't end up working out and you fall behind the curve, it can be really hard to play out. As obviously Canyon just wants to do exactly this, which is just farm, and even though they don't spot him directly, if they see his top side is down, we'll know that he's on the bot side of the map. But it's an early game Nocturne, not really expecting a lot, but that does mean that Keen is actually in a really awkward spot. His wave state not looking good, already chunked to half, and Owner is on the top side of the map.
And full information over to T1 as well as Canyon walks over that ward. They knew exactly, they had an idea of where he was, but then they get full confirmation. Now Canyon going to try and clear that one out, does get information of the ward he just walked over.
Yeah, read the movement.
Yeah, as a result, Keen actually just going to go for a recall right here, not wanting to risk too much. And despite the fact that FAKER has sat on below half health for the majority of this lane, he has kept these minions really pushed towards Chovy. So it does give a lot of control over to T1.
Yeah, it's very awkward for him because Chovy's holding onto a monstrous freeze. The idea is FAKER, you try and get those early pushes in, then you get the bounce back. But Chovy's like, no, I'm good. Now the wave will finally bounce back, but he ticks over to level 6. Ideally, FAKER wants to back now so that the wave will freeze here. And now Chovy's back is a little bit awkward. He's going to try and interrupt FAKER. It will be crucial if he does. Massive,
oh, wow.
massive,
he was
massive.
on that ward, as we could see. I thought he was actually just a prophet, but no.
Oh, they've actually brought the bot lane over towards mid to catch this wave. FAKER can now actually TP bots and go lane against FaZe, who can still...
Oh, body slam going to miss. That could be a big deal here. They're evening out the health trades that have been going pretty consistently in Zeus' favor.
Chovy looking to TP back towards his lane. Will be able to do so. And the first objectives spawning now. We have the Grubs online. Drake's there as well. You can argue either team is very happy to just wait till level 6. You have the vital position on one end and Nocturne on the other. It's just going to be a trade here. Does mean that this time Gen.G not going to have the Jax with an unreasonable amount of grubs. Even early trades here.
Certainly feels good for T1. This time it's going to be a trade, so it's not going to be the, the Grubs team picking up all of the dragons as well. Feeling a lot more even.
Grub secured, and I think both teams are quite happy with the current game state. Obviously, T1 are setting their sights on a top lane play right now. Keen level 6, as there's resistances, no Ash Arrow available yet.
Yeah, Lahan's looking to get himself into position. I think they had an idea that something was going down. Notably, Canyon not quite level 6 just yet, doesn't have that paranoia up and available as T1 don't opt in for any sort of dive attempt, but Keen still wanting to get aggressive on Gumayusi, who does have to cleanse. Pushes him away, so just going to be able to settle for the summoner spell and just move off.
Nicely as well, Gen.G have moved FaZe out of the bot lane matchup in towards mid, where he's much safer. That means that they can keep Chovy into the FAKER matchup, where the Ahri can continue to bully out on the Akali. With level 6 coming through and level 7 being a crucial breakpoint for Akali, just because she's going to get her Q at level 4, which I think it's either about 80 energy or about 70, but it makes the Q rotations much more comfortable when it comes to trading in the lighting phase.
Vision control here for T1. Do have Canyon, but he's backing, wanting to spend his earned gold from
Ash
those
Arrow.
4 players.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
ulti, Ah. Digo, no. Se va a morir el Shax. Bien, gente, bien, sí, háganle lo mismo que le hacen a ustedes.
Classic T1 trap springs on Keen, get a kill onto Vi, and also get the flash out of Keen.
I love that you called it a classic, because it truly is that idea that T1 makes it look like they've gone back to base, but they stay on the map a little bit longer to catch you pushing that wave out, and it works to perfection. They're able to equalize the kills, and T1 find their first of the game.
And I love this. I feel like it harkens back to something that Chovy was talking about in the tease earlier on. The fact that, you know, FAKER was known so much for these mind games that he plays. I think it's all of T1 that does those mind games now. It used to be maybe a little bit too much with excessive Barons being started every single game. Becomes less of a mind game and more of a you do this every game.
A bad habit, perhaps.
Yeah, kind of. But they are always just trying to push these advantages, trying to find opportunities where their opponents don't have enough information to be able to do what they want. So really nicely done here from T1 to try and claw back a bit of control of this game. But right now, plate should be going over to Gen.G to Chovy here, as Guma not going to be too worried. Canyon, level 7.
Again, it's a relatively slow early game. Kind of what we've come to expect from these two teams as they prioritize farm, but also it just goes to show how difficult it is to kill these players. Like, there's a reason why Gumayushi went deathless for so long, and he still only got a single death to his name, even though Gen.G absolutely stomped.
KDA.
Yes, it is.
Oh, you love that.
And it's a situation where both teams just play the map very well. They're constantly fishing for opportunities. They're playing for these early plates. But it's the Grubs now become the next big point of contention. A minute away. Both junglers already setting up some vision around the top side of the map. Keen, I imagine he wants to get a quick base in before the objective spawns, but that could be a window for Guma to already then push out mid and then set up on the top side river.
As we get into these fights, on one end, how is Gen.G going to be able to absorb the amount of backline threat that's there? Because T1 can split up a fight very easily with the Greg Assault, and obviously he has Owner to start him out.
Going to come on through here as Zes is looking to take the fight to Keen. Does find some nice body slams. There's the slowdown as well. Leap strike just to try and escape, and you can see Canyon. Oh, he was looking for a potential angle. But that does buy some space.
Initi. Están ahí. Putos de mierda, tío, no nos hiti. Hiti más grande.
But I guess because Keen hadn't used his E yet, they were hesitant to really fully commit to the play. Regardless, the damage was done. Zeus has already gone back to base. He's now back out onto the map before Keen has had an opportunity to, but Keen's TP is available. Are they going to contest this?
Just have to say, I think 6 Grubs is going to be pretty valuable.
Oh, that's a big TP.
Yeah, the teleport flank angle is coming in here. Keen, good position to start this one off. He's just beelining right in there. Paranoia comes down. They do throw out the ulti. Carrier trying to keep them at bay, and oh no! There goes Lehens, and now
Okay. Dale, FAKER.
And he's going to wait for the leap strike.
Bien, FAKER. Bien.
FAKER coming in huge, but it's the team response from T1 that's the biggest thing here. Chovy couldn't join that fight. I think Gen.G was expected to back off when the Nocturnal came through, but T1 said no, we can take it, and they take a big lead here in game number 3.
We talked about how this composition is very much true to the style of T1, and their ability to take these early skirmishes wasn't there in game 2, but you can see how prepared they were. Owner and Carrier were the focus at the start of the fight. Carrier, though, has the passive to be able to reborn, and then, of course, also has the ultimate available, too. So even though they're getting collapsed on by every single side, the TP comes in, a nice flash comes out. Carrier doesn't care that he's getting focused on the Gragas, then arrives, and crucially, as you said, Chovy can't join the fight.
Yeah, and Keen and Lehens spent most of that fight fighting each other because of that hostile takeover that came in. FAKER gorgeous on the 5-point strike there. You see T1 with Reckless in the back. Feeling pretty happy about this one. And Helper and Mata getting more and more stressed as this game goes on. Still, a lot of game left to play here. We are tied up in this series. We'll see whether Gen.G can claw their way back to an even game state after that big lead has been acquired. About 2.5K. Now the lead for T1.
Pace has got to have to do a lot of heavy lifting. A lot of the gold for Gen.G is on him, but into a fed AKALI and Owner also getting bigger and bigger. They're looking to punish Keen. Again, this Jax not having a great time. 4 men at the ready.
All right, Canyon does have that Paranoia up and available. They know exactly where he is. This is a big gamble if Gen.G do decide to go for it. Once again, Chovy is very far away, but this time has the teleport up and available. Nice little stun to come through there as Keen now with the Counter-Strike on cooldown. They're trying to deal with these waves, but another one conga lining in. This War of Attrition looks to just be going in T1's favor, especially with all those Grubs, the Void Mites, and everything like that. Gen.G just going to back away.
Gen.G seeding more, and T1 no, like we don't have to dive this, we can just poke them down. The only way with the range that Gen.G have that they can never really push back is if they actually hard commit. But because of the vision, T1 knows everyone is in the area. Chovy was showing on top wave, and they weren't worried about a possible collapse.
The timing was fantastic as well. T1 had gotten a deep push into top side, which meant that Chovy went to go and answer. Bear in mind that he's a large part of Gen.G's wave clear, so while he's present top, it gives T1 the ability to force stack bot. They then keep Zeus in mid, he catches the wave there, and they don't really lose anything. Sure, Zeus lost like half a wave in the top side of the map, and crucially, Chovy does have an experience advantage over Faker, but he should be able to claw that back as long as he starts matching in the side lane. He's got his fully completed rocket belt, which means that he's now going to be a much more of a threat in the 1v1.
It's telling that the Ahri Nocturne Jax composition doesn't want to fight for Herald, and when you look at these two compositions, it does really feel extremely versatile because they are
What the
both
fuck,
so
esos
short
reflejos,
range.
boludo.
You really, once you find
Bueno, se van a
yourself in
hacer
deficit, have to be
caput.
extremely clean with
La
your
torre de
fight
bot.
selection.
Nos vimos, Gile concha de su madre.
There it is.
Yep, that's going to be even more money going over
Pues
to
van a
T1.
hacer
They're happy
caput
to
la
trade
torre
these
de
turrets
medio.
because this is so much more map control as Canyon's doing his very best to try and clear things out. Dustbringer should be able to help as there's the charge, and this turret's not going to be long for the
Ah, bueno. Ese daño, qué mierda. Qué mierda ese daño. Clan. Ah, no pegó. Se muere Nocturne. Muere Nocturne. Ah. Una R, pero no hay nadie para que le pegue. Ahí van a buscar la otra. Ah, bueno. No, bueno. ¡Ay! No, ya si se llegaba a salvar el Jax. ¡Ay! Ese FAKER. Keep going, boys. Keep going. You got it. Che, terrible el daño de Clan. Terrible el daño que se comió la rel. Baja que no haya pegado ahí, mira, no le faltó nada. Ah, los maitió.
And what's crazy is they didn't even slow down there because Faker was pushing out the top wave. They turn to top, they get that objective as well. They get another kill.
It's gone from bad to worse for Gen.G in this one, but T1 really showing that this bounce back
Sí,
was
tendrían que haber salido a jugar el... bueno, la torre mix se va a la puta.
Being on blue side this whole worlds, which is kind of crazy to me because they do love this side of the map, and they are demonstrating to us that in this series it is not
la
going to be
torre de
any
bot.
different.
Ah, le cortó el back.
And hope, like, what I'm trying to get to here is that we might have 5 games.
Bueno, caput la torre de bot.
The T1, when they are playing a comp that feels like it fits them versus the T1 that
El Jax se va a derretir esa torre de ahí arriba. Bueno, vaya FAKER.
There's like a perfect example for this. We have the stats for Keen on Jax in the last game. If you compare that to what he's doing now in this game, it is absolutely night and day. And Zeus on this Gragas in comparison to the Maokai is incredible. Speaking of which, he's going to get tagged by that arrow.
Se va a dar tiempo posible.
So he's just going to be denied a turret take.
Ay.
That's going to be down very, very low, but still not going to be the money going over.
Tienen cierto respeto a Seu, por eso no le hicieron tirar de
grace for Gen.G, which by itself is not enough, is that they do have 2 dragons. The problem is you're playing into T1, and we all know that as soon as the Baron is online, they're going to just start pulling it consistently. This Drake, obviously Gen.G never going to contest, but I don't think Gen.G is ever going to give, or T1 rather, is ever going to give Gen.G the opportunity to get to the point where these gold leads matters less, right? When you have the 2 items on pace, when Chovy can get to a next item, as, oh boy.
Ay, 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 mira lo que está pasando ahí arriba. Cuando vemos que la rel está totalmente desubicada. Seu con un chip bomba. Ah, bueno, FAKER está con toda, no le importa una mierda. Va a buscar a Canyon. No solo va FAKER, va a Honor también. La paranoia por parte del Nocturne. La R por parte de la B. La E por parte de la AKALI desde Massachusetts. La R por parte de la... no me acuerdo cómo se llama. Se cae matando el Jax. El R el que pega, pero no puede hacer nada. T1 que va a ir en busca de ese varón. Que sale en 1 minuto 50. A intentar priorizar ese varón. La Renata, no me acordaba cómo se llamaba la que está jugando quería. La Renata. Keep going, boys.
And Gen.G.
Sí tendrían que haber salido a jugar el segundo mapa. El segundo mapa lo jugaron muy como a... Sí, no sé. No sé. Pero
6.5K gold lead here. And Gen.G, they can't even get near the waves.
Game 2 was systematic dissection from Gen.G. They controlled the map, they were patient, and T1 were suffocated. But in this game, T1 are just brawling.
It's a sledgehammer.
It is a
Bomba.
beatdown. And sure, a bit of anti-synergy there as this knocks
Bomba.
Lehens out of the way of FAKER's E. He flashes to try and cancel the back, doesn't quite get it in time, but he says, guys, I'm not letting my ulti be wasted, you better
la E
collapse
que
here."
metió
Here
al
comes
Jax.
Ona, and then the follow-up comes through.
T1 from these winning positions
Al
are
Nocturne,
always
en
going to be
realidad.
looking for more and more aggressive sideline punishes. And Gen.G, well, respecting pace, just has to watch his teammates die. Nothing that he can do there.
And the travel on the shuriken backflip there as well from FAKER. This guy, when he plays AKALI at Worlds, it's just a beauty to watch as well.
Bueno, no paran de pelear. Se va a acabar muriendo Keria. No se muere Keria. No se muere nunca más. Gomayushi que pega de gratis. Una que se lleva la kill de la red por parte. El quiteo por parte de Gomayushi. Se terminó derritiendo el Jax, que está más duro que infancia en Siria. Es un saco de papas el Jax. No para de recibir pijazos y aún así aguanta. El TP por parte de FAKER para venir a romper las pelotas, a tirar medio. Y la torre que no se tira quedó a una fiebre. T1 se retira, saliendo cuanto menos victorioso. Diría que no se murió gracias a la WD Renata. El varón que está alive. Varón que está alive para que cualquiera de los dos tome posesión de ese Baron Nashor. Veremos cómo continúa mucho control de mapa, mucho control de visión por parte de Gen.G en ese Baron. Hasta que se va a encargar T1 de sacar ahora. De chupó un huevo, dejaron la visión igual. Dice T1 que intentan limpiar, intentan buscar una que se muestra. Keria que estunea a la Rel. Mucho daño por parte del equipo de T1. La Rel que estunea a la AKALI. Nadie se anima a tirar a la AKALI. Oner que agarra y empieza a pelearse paranoia por parte del Nocturne. Van a intentar buscarse la kill por Gomayushi. Gomayushi que sigue vivo. Gomayushi que al fin dice, al fin me pegaron a mí. Y ahora T1 que se queda sin su daño. Y esto peligra la misión porque se murió Gomayushi. Mayor daño que tiene T1. Pero no quiere decir que sea el único.
You're completely right, Atlas. Losing Guma is a lot of the damage gone. So T1 have to be a lot more careful. FAKER had his ultimate available, but they chose not to take the fight any longer. A crucial flank from Chovy. He's been largely invisible in this game.
Bueno, que se pone a robarle la jungla al Gil de Canyon, esa torre que está a un pedo de abuela. Claramente fueron a focusear a Gomayushi porque saben que es el putísimo daño. Ahora, lo que se salvó, cómo llegó la área de atrás, son preguntas que no tenemos respuesta.
The carry being taken out immediately, Gen.G don't really have an opportunity to chase further because if they get
Tócame la cámara, por favor.
FAKER, you turn it into a Baron, the game might be playable. Instead, it's a moment of respite, but T1 still have a very tight clutch in this game.
FAKER. Se calentó. La R por parte de Gomayushi. No le pega absolutamente nadie. Creo que intenta iniciar. Ahora quieren pelear. No puede ser risky cuanto menos.
Crucially, the dragon is completely exposed. The bot wave has been pushed in by T1. FAKER commits his ultimate to try and force
Gomayushi que hubiera tirado esa torre está un pedo de abuela.
Doesn't get dissuaded. Still has his
Se
ulti
tiró.
available, but the problem is all of Gen.G was shepherded to the top side of the map, leaving the mid lane exposed. T1 get the objective, and now they can turn to the dragon.
Oner que se fue a hacer el dragón. Muy buena decisión por parte de Oner para negarle ese frío de Drake. Gen.G. Y ahora que busca capear a alguien. Puede ser. No la regla ahí, pero Zeus no quiere saber nada. Faker menos. Y uno se termina llevando el dragón hashtag. El dragón Little Scissors. Ojo, los buenos de Gen.G que van a picapear la cámara que... Ay, 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 ay. Muchísimo daño por parte de Faker. La paranoia. Están buscando Goma Yoshi. Goma Yoshi que ya apareció. Mete una ulti y dice, acá estoy. R por parte de la Renata. Honor que se quiere tirar. Zeus. Bomba.
You got to remember that T1 just took a dragon. They need to get the resets through. Crucially, in all of this, while the trap was turned on its head, notice that Chovy has a 2-level lead over FAKER. He has been over-grouping, and he has been denied a lot of farm. Even that top wave just now, he conceded over to Zeus to make sure that he was getting the resources. And while there are advantages across the board, Chovy becomes the sole win condition for Gen.G. If he's able to find those picks, if he can find an opportunity, then there is an avenue back into this game for Gen.G.
And while the Baron damage for T1 is pretty solid, right? You have Vi passive, you have Gumayushi who will shred through it fairly quickly. It's so hard to deny Nocturne access to the pit. True. And we saw T1 themselves show that a single Baron steal can be enough to turn a game on its head. And T1, I imagine is going to be looking, unless they get a really good Baron opportunity, just start stacking these Drakes, because the Baron actually does a ton of damage, even as we get this late into the game. You gotta have to really respect it. Not really the same for the Dragons, but that, even if you end up going for that, as dangerous as a 4 Drake Hextech Soul is, that's 8.5 minutes from now. And at that point, the gold lead isn't gonna be quite as useful. I think T1, they're gonna look for a pick onto someone, turn that into Baron, and truly break the back of Gen.G.
Well, Chovy hasn't been back to base in what feels like a decent amount of time, because he's been sitting on exactly these items for the last, what feels like 7 minutes or something like that. But now Gen.G are poised. They're in their jungle, understanding that T1 do want to look for this Baron. They do have control vision of the area. They can get over these walls pretty comfortably. Zona going to dive into the back of the pit, take down that ward, and now T1 are going to start this one up. Paranoia can get
uno que va a buscar ese Baron Nashor.
They find that vision right now, and T1 immediately back away. The amount of respect being shown this game.
Lo van a dejar porque le dijeron que era bait.
They can just keep doing this though, keep forcing cooldowns. Eventually, Gen.G is going to run out of wards, run out of scryers, and they are going to have to face check.
They don't have the blue trinket on Pays. I know it looks like that on the bottom of your screen, but it is unavailable. It's the only one on their side.
There you go. Ezreal just to check.
Yep.
El juego que tuvo
T1 are playing with the pressure they have well.
Está lento el game.
Resets have come through from T1. Vision replenished now for Carrier.
Cuando a esta altura de la partida, el juego pasado ya Gen.G la estaba terminando.
Only picks up a needlessly large rod, so maybe it hadn't been as long as I thought. The intensity of the game might be attributing to that one.
It's a surprisingly tense game, considering the gold deficits that Gen.G find themselves in. And I really do think it's because you just keep looking at Chovy. You see how strong he is on this Ahri, and you have to respect it. T1, though, doing what they've done all game. They move into Gen.G's jungle and say, by the way, this belongs to us. Please vacate the premises as we take all of your jungle camps.
Yeah, and this is the thing. This is the slowly but surely drawing out the advantage, right? This is the safe way to win the game. T1 have been known to take some liberties as far as advantages are concerned.
Oh, yeah.
And this time around, not necessarily doing so as much. But what it's doing is giving Pays time to get farm, giving Chovy time to get more levels and farm himself. And so maybe when Pays has 3 items, Chovy has 3 items, that could be a time where a fight can be better here for Gen.G. But I still think that T1 have a lot of great tools
Va
in these team fights later on. Zeus on his Gragas has made magic happen. T1 and on his AKALI needs no introduction. And Gumayushi on this champion that, if given the space, can really lose control. I mean, I think that this is a recipe for success for T1 unless Gen.G does something miraculous.
I love that you said T1 on AKALI as opposed to FAKER on AKALI, which actually
it's synonymous, right?
It's synonymous. It's perfect. And the level 60 now hit, as you pointed out, Vadi Chova's getting those 3 items hit. And it's really weird because I do feel like T1 was absolutely demolishing this game. I still think they are highly favored in this game. They're going to get the soul point. And I don't think Gen.G really has anything that they can do about that. But there's got to be a point where the inhibs have to start falling, or the Baron has to be threatened as the check comes through. Obviously quite early,
but
not really going to spot anything.
Those 2 dragons
para sacar visión,
it kind of just bought
lo
them
cual
time. they
sirvió de
can choose to
mucho.
concede this
O
objective
quizás
as
sí.
well. The top wave being pushed
Probablemente
in,
Gen.G
Gen.G
quiera
playing
hacerse
the
Baron.
side lanes
¿Por qué querrán
methodically.
intercambiar
They're
ese
not
Drake?
overforcing their hand. And
Bueno, por nada, porque
what
como
felt
Gigi se
like
lo
a
derritió.
beatdown earlier. It felt like that we were going round for round in a boxing match, and
Faker
T1
ahí
was
arriba
just
pusheando.
generating point after point after point. But now we're kind of in this back and forth. A lot of dodging's been happening, and Gen.G have been able to stall out enough where it feels like their stamina has been regained, and a single good punch from them could be enough to swing the whole game.
Especially now, that third item does come through here for Pays. He's feeling a whole lot better in this game right now. And on his Ezreal, we know that Ezreal can do some pretty ridiculous things as the game goes on, thanks to Elk for letting us know. Pays is no stranger to it. This was, in fact, one of his first mains that we ever saw. Him in Challenger is something that Chronicle will not shut up about.
Well, I was going to talk about it, actually, but thank you for being
That's
out
good.
on me.
That helps. That goes with the vibe.
Real smart.
Well, no, I don't
like
have
that.
to.
I feel like you've cast with him before.
Yeah, no, I've seen him around.
Every now and then.
He looks like an imposter. He looks like Chronicler from back in the LCK, but he's got this mustache, so it can't be him.
As T1 desperately tries to catch someone of Gen.G off guard. For T1 though, the guarantee of the next Drake setup is amazing because Gen.G has only 2 Drakes, so they can very happily give that up. Whereas Gen.G 100% is gonna have to play towards that soul. I know that in theory you can do the, okay, you get soul, we get Baron, but it's Hextech soul. We saw in the previous game how hard the game becomes to play out, and Guma's volleys alone are gonna be an absolute nuisance if you're trying to play, particularly if you're trying to play very far forward, very aggressively. The slow makes it so hard. Gen.G still setting up these traps, but it's so easy for T1 to check.
Yeah, Hawkshot is a pretty powerful ability. True Shot Barrage not going to find any joy here as Faker on a flank angle taking control of the mid lane, and you've got the split push and Gragas, that nimble large man moving in the bottom lane, trying to put pressure on Gen.G.
I don't know if you guys ever get this, but I have this weird feeling that Chovy's gonna do something really crazy.
Like in your waters?
Owner?
Oh yeah, Owner was thinking about it. Owner was gonna go wide, but still Spirit Rush has to be invested as Pays gets
Con lo
caught by
picapiaron.
Handshake, and now over the wall.
Empieza la pelea, se empiezan a cagar a palo. Honor que está totalmente en otro lado. La Akali que no puede llevarse la kill. Toma, Yoshi empieza a pegar. Lo dejaron pegar de gratis. Ah, bueno, flashea. Son los ADC que me tocan. Le flashea, me lea un Jack. Se salva. Se van a llevar la kill por parte del Nocturne. Se llevan la kill por parte de Canyon. El Jax que se salva. La Ashe flasheando a melee a un Jax. Que por más que vaya 0-6. El Jax de vuestra está rotísimo. Quieren terminar la partida, no se lo van a permitir los de Gen.G. Se tira con todo. ¡Bomba! Por parte del Gragas para destruirlo. Canyon que dice, Chovy que dice, no, van a tirar la torre. Los de T1 que dice, bueno, te vaquemos en la cara. Era Bail. Nos llevamos la kill por parte de la red. Goma y Yoshi se derrita a todo el mundo. Y Faker dice, Chovy, mamame los huevos. Me meto a la base. Tiro Yurelia. Me escapo y te mato. Te mato, Faker meándose a Chovy en su propia fuente. Y tenemos GG. A beautiful bomba.
Just a fantastic team fight. But I mean, gentlemen, that game was
Keep going, bros. Keep going. One more. Only one more.